All right, my friends, we have been learning a lot about westward expansion in the United States. Before we continue on with our stories, we're going to take a little break and review what we've learned so far. Go ahead and open up the PDF that is attached to this assignment. Today we're going to start on the second page of our PDF, so don't worry about this one for right now. I'm going to have you scroll down to the one that looks like this. On the second page, we have these boxes that we sometimes use to retell a story that say somebody wanted, but, so, then. For the first part of your assignment today, I want you to pick one of the people that we've learned about and fill out this chart for them. So your somebody might be the Morgan family. What did the Morgan family want? Why did they move westward? What is it that they wanted? The Morgan family wanted a fresh start and new land to farm. So what did they do? What was the problem? What was the problem that they faced? We talked about a lot of different problems the Morgan family faced. What were some challenges that they had? The road west was long and hard. They faced terrible weather, sickness, and lost animals, to name just a few. So what did they do? Did they give up and stop on the side of the road? No. They kept going even when it got difficult. Then, did it end happily for them? Were they able to make it? Yes. Then, they were able to settle down in, where were they going? What state? Oregon. All right, there we go. Oregon. You might choose to write about Sequoyah. What was it that Sequoyah wanted? Sequoyah wanted to preserve Cherokee culture through a written language. But Cherokee only had a verbal language and passed their stories down by telling them orally. So he worked hard to invent a written language for the Cherokee people. Then their stories were able to be written down. He was successful. Your somebody might be about Robert Fulton. Who was Robert Fulton? What did he want? Robert Fulton wanted to create a better steamboat. Steamboats already existed, but he wanted to make one that was superior or better. But what challenges did Robert Fulton face? Could he do it alone? No, he needed someone with money to help fund his work or to help him pay for all of the work he would have to do to create the steamboat. So he talked to his partner, Robert Livingston, and convinced him to help him. Then he was finally able to build a superior steamboat. What made his steamboat better? What do you remember about his steamboat that made it better? It was cheaper. It was faster. His steamboat had paddles on the back, and the steam powered the engines that pushed the paddles and pushed the boat forward. The bottom of his steamboat was flat, which made it so that there was more room for people and for cargo. What were some disadvantages, though? Some disadvantages, or one disadvantage that we talked about, was that it could only go where there was water. Another thing you could talk about is somebody, the American people, wanted to fix that issue. They wanted to fix the disadvantage of steamboats only being able to go where water is. But water didn't connect all of the major cities in the US. There were lots of big cities that were not connected by rivers or lakes. So what did they build? What did they do to fix that problem? They built canals, including the Erie Canal that we talked about, the biggest and most famous. And then steamboats were able to go to more places. Still not everywhere, but more places. They couldn't go out west. Those steamboats didn't make it all the way out to the west coast, but it made them go a lot of other different places. You could also even do our last lesson we talked about, the Trail of Tears. You could use the Trail of Tears as well. You could say that white settlers wanted the land and businesses that Cherokee people owned, but the Cherokee people obviously were already there and already owned those things. So the white settlers forced the Cherokee out of their homes and made them march to Oklahoma, a new land in Oklahoma. Then the Cherokee started new lives in Oklahoma while the white settlers got their old homes and businesses. You choose what you want to write about. You can write about anything that we have learned so far. When you are done filling out your chart, remember yours should look a little bit different than mine, even if you also chose the Morgan family. But you don't have to choose the Morgan family. You could write about Sequoyah or about Robert Fulton. You choose. When this is done, then you are ready for that first page. Our next part is going to be this first page, which is an assessment or a test. This one's not very long though. This one's only 6 questions. So finish this one first, and then we'll move on to this one. Go ahead and pause this video right now while you work on your somebody wanted but so then chart. All right, my friends, welcome back. If you are done with your somebody wanted but so then chart, you are now ready for our very short little quiz here. On this one, I will read statements about some of the things we've learned about in westward expansion. If the statement that I say is true, you'll fill in or circle the thumbs up. If the statement that I read is false or not true, you'll circle or fill in the thumbs down. If you need to pause between questions to give yourself time to answer, that is totally okay. You can also rewind anytime you need to listen to a statement again. All right, my friends, number 1. The settlers who headed for a new life out west were called pioneers. Is that true or false? Number 2. Sequoyah thought that it was important to capture the Cherokee language in writing. Number 3. Pioneer families had it easy as they moved west in covered wagons. Number 4. Robert Fulton was the inventor of a superior steamboat. Number 5. Freight, or cargo, traveled all the way to the Pacific Ocean on the Erie Canal. And number 6. The Cherokee people were forced to walk hundreds of miles along what became known as the Trail of Tears. All right, my friends, when you have all of those questions answered and your somebody wanted but so then chart is filled out, go ahead and turn this one in. And that is all you need to do for Knowledge Today. You are all done. And I will see you next time.